And I really pray that every woman gets that point. I hope your pain gets so fucking unbearable. And I know that's terrible to say,
Yeah,
but
but to make you do something about it.
to
Yeah.
change your freaking life. And my big shift that happened inside me was the fact that I sat back and I realized that the condition that I had from society, from my family, from partners, around money, around my body, around sexual energy, around fertility, all of that conditioning that I was saying, no, I can't afford this. No, I can't do this. That was
Mhm.
the same conditioning that had got me into this state. And
Yeah.
that state was killing me. It was ruining my body, my health, my self love, my trust, my sex energy, my healing, my capacity to have a child, my capacity for a greater future. And so, if I chose to stay in that conditioning, I was choosing to say that is the way I actually want to be in my life.
From ARTÀ Healing, this is the Art of Woman podcast with your host, Em Marigold. At ARTÀ, we believe women are art and we teach the art of being a woman. That means remembering the rhythm of your cycle, the intelligence of your hormones, the magnetism of your fertility, and the sacred biology that shapes you. Rooted in Ayurveda and plant medicine, we weave ancestral wisdom with modern science to bring you real, lasting healing. Our goal is to make natural normal and to say goodbye to symptoms like acne, hair loss, irregular cycles, painful and heavy periods, and infertility. Always healing the root, always natural.
Hello, and welcome to the Art of Women podcast. This is our first episode, and I'm so excited to share this conversation with you. And what better way to kick this off, this podcast off, than with a client's healing journey and their transformation to share with you? So, today's guest is Emma Swain. She's a sensual embodiment coach. She's making six figures, traveling the world, engaged to the love of her life, and most importantly, healthy, well, and fertile. But she wasn't always here. She wasn't always at this state of health. She healed herself from hair loss, PCOS, endometriosis, weight issues, fluctuating, great gaining weight, losing weight, had very irregular cycles. They would just sort of turn up randomly, heavy bleeds, light bleeds. It's kind of a bit of a mess and all over the place. And she was told she was infertile. We worked together about 5 years ago now. So she has grown and been working on herself for a really long time. And her story is very inspiring and it motivates me as well to continue doing this work. So I think it's going to be a really expanding conversation for many of you to hear someone where they were at and where they've got to. And yes, I was there supporting, guiding, giving advice, prescribing herbal medicine, but she did the work. She put the work in. She was open to change, bringing in all that knowledge. And she worked really hard when we were working together, and she got results very quickly. Within 12 weeks, everything was really shifting. And so in this conversation, we actually talk through how her healing affects more than just health, but expands into your entire life. And she's proof of that. You know, we talk through career, money, love life, and becoming this whole new version of yourself, because healing isn't just about removing your symptoms. Although when first clients, they come to me and you want to clear their acne. Great, we can do that. But they start to realize that there's so much more than this. And especially when they come off hormonal birth control, they get this new lease of life and creativity. A lot of them dive into starting their own businesses or just expanding their businesses, and they have more energy and just a more there's just something that changes. They become themselves. They kind of awaken their authentic self by working on their health and healing. You know, we're peeling away all those kind of layers that you have built up over time, whether that's accumulation of toxins, accumulation of hormones. I mean, we're all, even if you look at it from a psychological perspective, we're always just adding on those layers throughout our lives, the way that we're molded and shaped. And with Ayurveda, we are learning how to come back to who we are, our constitution, and living in alignment with ourselves. And it's just there's so much more to health than just clearing your symptoms. That's great. That's a brilliant part of it. But the magic that comes next is something you can't really describe so much that you have to experience. But I think Emma really kind of talks about it quite yeah, openly and explains it really well. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. And she's become a dear friend now. I really I find her energy just so magnetizing and someone that I really enjoy talking with. So I hope you enjoy this episode and I'll see you in there. Hi Emma, welcome. So
Hello.
nice to have you here.
Oh, my love. It's so good to be here. I'm so excited to do this talk.
Thank you so much for taking the time as well. It's great to see you.
Of course, of course.
So if you could start by saying a little bit about yourself and where you're currently at, where you live, maybe a little bit about what you do now would be great. And then we can talk a little bit more about us working together.
Of course. So hopefully there are some women around the world watching this who are wanting to work with Emma. And to give you some specs just about me, I am now a sensual embodiment coach. I work with women on reconnecting to their feminine energy. And a large part of my work that I do now literally stemmed from you, Em, and healing my ovaries, healing my womb. And so, yeah, it's been such a beautiful journey. And I have the privilege now of working with women on that sexual energy side, but it all stemmed from this work and this work. So I'm excited to share about it.
And it's been so amazing to just watch your journey, like from afar as well, like when we've started working together and then where you are now. And I love to see that transformation and how you've grown. And it's like, it's not just about healing symptoms, right? I think that's the thing I'm always trying to get my point across, which I'm not sure sinks in, but it's more than that, really. It's like the confidence that you get that arises when you reduce your symptoms and like the space that you create and all the other things that come with those balanced hormones, like the creativity, the sexual and essential energy. Oh my God. And yeah, I think so many women who I've worked with don't realize until they're like in the program and they suddenly are like, oh my God, I've got my libido's gone crazy. What's going on? I feel like dancing more and I feel like looking after myself more. And it's, oh yeah, it's just so, there's just so much more to it. And I think that's where your work comes in as well. You've just got that amazing aliveness to you.
It's back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So where were you before we started working together? Maybe you could talk through a little bit about where you were at, and then you found me on Instagram and thought, I'm gonna book in with Em. Tell about your problems that you had would be amazing.
Yeah, of course. So where I began, it's actually like so hard to even imagine or fathom that
Because you're
that
a whole new person.
like this, but it was my state of being. And also, again, if someone's watching this, like, I want to put myself in your shoes if you're in the struggle seat, because for my whole life that was my reality, and it's so hard to even believe it was possible. But when I began, before we worked together, I had been on the pill since I was 14 years old. So I had been on chronic birth control for over a decade. And I had tried to come off it and then got very severe PCOS and endometriosis. And it got to a point where my one ovary had completely imploded and the other had completely shriveled. They were covered with cysts. I had terrible weight gain. I lost all my hair. Like I had literal bald patches everywhere. My heaviest, I got up to like 87 kilos. So like the weight was just super intense fluctuations. And more than that, it was this absolute fear and disconnect from my womb, right? Like I had no idea what to do. When I had a bleed, it would bleed like so much. Then I would have no periods for months. And I knew there was a lot that needed help and healing, and I knew nothing about hormonal health. I thought, you think you know stuff. You think you kind of got it. You think you know this. You think like what you don't know, you don't know. And I realized that when I found you, and I was like, I know shit. I know nothing. But yeah, to put it in a nutshell, on a physical level, PCOS, endometriosis, irregular bleeds, weight gain, mood swings. And again, I'm sure if any of you girls who watch this have this, you're going to know like you don't feel good. Like you feel shitty in your system, you feel insecure, you feel unsafe, you feel dysregulated, you're trying. It's like such a struggle because you're fighting Mother Nature. You just don't know your natural state. And the reason I really contacted you and found you, thank God for the Instagram algorithm, found you was I wanted to come off the pill and I wanted to do it properly. And my biggest goal, I have a journal piece to this day, I wrote every day after we started working together, was to heal my ovaries. I was told I couldn't have babies. I was told I couldn't have a family. I was told I'd be on the pill forever. I was told I had infertility. And I just didn't want to believe that was possible. Like it just was like, like there has to be a better way. There has to be a natural way. I just didn't know how. And I still feel emotional because like I can remember that pain back then. And I wasn't what I am now, right? I was a live-in carer. I was, living, looking after elderly people and like trying to figure out my shit. And that's when I found you. And it was really that point where I was still on the pill. I had all these symptoms. I was still really struggling. And I absolutely needed a change. I wanted the opportunity to be a mom one day. I wanted to be able to get married one day to someone who'd want a family. I wanted to know I could heal. At least wanted to know I wouldn't destroy another client's bed with my heavy period, which did happen on more than one occasion because it would just happen. So, yeah, that was the start point.
That was the start. Because I remember your cycles were really irregular and you were just like the perfect client as well because you were just ready, so ready to just make all the changes. And I loved that because it was really easy to work with you. And I think sometimes it's the making the decision in your mind that you're ready to start healing. That's and then that's when you can do it. And it happens really quick, which it did happen with you. We only worked together for a few months and it was fast. I think your body was very receptive to the herbs. And yeah, I really remember it very clearly.
Yeah, it was. It was a fast turnaround. Of
I shut the window because it's really loud.
course.
Um, yeah, and it's the one thing that I still really struggle with the whole infertility topic because a lot of conventional medicine, the way they define it, it's so linear. It's like, oh, you're just infertile. And once you hear that, I've worked with so many women and even, dear friends where they're told that belief it's a really dangerous belief to have within you because I wonder what that actually does to your system. And it's just so wrong to tell someone that because it's not like that. Fertility is always changing. I've been through periods in my life where I like lost my cycle, lost my period for like 8 months. So I was technically infertile. That doesn't mean I'm infertile forever. Now I have very regular cycles, and at one point they were like crazy irregular. The same for you. It's very much cyclical, right? And it's moving and flowing and yeah, I hate when it's kind of deemed, oh, you're probably not going to have kids because this is where you're at right now, and they don't see the potential for things to change.
Yeah.
My little rant there.
But this is where you came in for me. You showed me the potential and what was inside me and how I could heal, and you gave me those steps too. And that, with also the readiness and the absolute, really at my point, like just desperation, but also excitement, was like, hit me. Like, you're telling me something good. Like, I'm all ears.
And you knew it was possible. Like it's a really big, you need to know it's possible. That's I guess that's also why we're doing this and doing more testimonials so people know it's possible. Because I think a lot of people believe that what they're going through is quite normal because it's common,
Yeah.
and that it's normal to have really painful periods. It's normal to like hemorrhage. You know, I keep seeing these adverts that pop up, like if I'm watching something on YouTube or whatever, I'll put music, and you get an advert pop up, and it's like about, oh, you know, you're hemorrhaging periods, and you need to take this pill to sort out your hemorrhaging period, and it's like never gonna heal the root. It's just another painkiller,
Yeah.
and I just, yeah, we need to spread the awareness that you can have this lovely natural cycle where it feels really good, actually. And you have these different sections within the month where you can use it to just utilize your life, you know. I'm bleeding this week and I didn't even realize I was coming on my period. I just actually forgot. So I had no symptoms and it was just such a blessing. And I was like, oh, hello, welcome, period. And it was great. And yeah, it's like how every woman should feel, right? Not this constant battle with mood swings and PMS and dreading the bleed and the pain and the cramping and, you know, are they going to hemorrhage all over their bed sheets? What can they wear? There's so many emotional elements to it, isn't it? Um, yeah, yeah. So maybe you can tell us a bit about where you are now with your health,
Yeah. Oh,
feeling in your body.
what's happening? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it timelines also, and
Yeah.
timelines are never something that's like guaranteed. Every woman's body is unique, and again, like what you reflected as well, like as a woman, you really have to just get in your head that you're all in and you're ready. And I was in that headspace when I met you. I didn't know how, but I was like, I believe this woman's got something witchy happening there. So like I'm in for it, like epigenetics. Um, but from when we started working together, within 48 days, I was off the pill and I got my cycle for the first time. And that to me was just like crazy. And within less than 3 months, I had a completely regulated cycle. I had normal bleeds. I had no pain. I then decided to go, I get goosebumps because it's just crazy. I then decided to go and get a scan. The PCOS had completely cleared. My ovaries had normalized in size. So the entire organ had changed shape, which still like blows my fucking mind. How that happens, not a cyst to be seen. And progressively from that point, the weight dropped. My cycle normal, pain gone, regular bleeds. My entire body literally normalized. And with that comes the subsequent consequences, which is one, being off the pill. You, and I say this to my girls now, I'm like, it's so important. You attract and repel the correct men and wrong men from your life.
100%.
Like,
Oh my,
you know, hormones, pheromones. So I started to get this confidence in my body. Of course, like losing weight, slimming down, feeling healthy, feeling regular. I built self-trust that reflected in how I spoke to people, that reflected in my life choices. And I started to really develop then a method within myself. And one of the core foundations is like connect to your womb. Like it's just your power center. Um, I then, of course, was told I was fertile and could have children. And we'll go into some of the things that you taught me of how to learn all of that. But subsequently to that, we've been sort of working and connected on and off over years now. So where I am now is, of course, a flourishing, healthy body. I'm engaged to the love of my life, and we definitely plan on having a family. Um, and all I am physically healed. My cycle is so regular, it literally connects to the moon, like, you know, full moon, new moon, bleeding, and all of that, and ovulating. I have normal vaginal fluid. It's just profound. So if I think of who I'd been, and we have to go back to it, like, it's hard for me to remember it, that was my life for over a decade. It's like, you know, it's you just don't think it can ever be different. Like I knew it must somehow, but I just had never had the condition of like, I can come off the pill, I can have sex and be fertile and not fall pregnant and have a regular cycle and not have PCOS and not have endometriosis and have beautiful, nourishing bleeds that there's no pain. Like it's just crazy what can actually happen for your womb. And it really did take an expert, of course, and then the steps that you gave me to come back to a natural homeostasis. And again, for women and for a younger version of me, if I could talk to her, it's like you've got to change your mindset. You got to know your body is a natural healer, and we've been conditioned by society and adverts and all this shit that what we're going through is normal, and it's simply not. And the thing that I needed, and I'm sure you will too if you're watching this, is someone to show you how it's different and what to do differently to receive the miracle that you're praying for. Because it is a natural state, but it is a fucking miracle. Because for you, mind, heart, body, life to get there is going to take something you don't know yet. And that's the definition of a miracle, right? It's just the unknown becoming manifest. So yeah, it's amazing. I couldn't be a happier bunny, to be honest.
I'm so pleased. It's just like, it gives me so much joy when I see where people get to, and it's like, I met you there, back there. And it's just like, yeah, there's no words sometimes. There's no words because it brings up so much of my own stuff when I was, the same, overweight, so much acne all over my back. Just always felt like this was going to be my life, or like I was the unlucky one. And then to know that you can just actually say, no, I don't accept this. And I was so dedicated to making the changes like you do have to do the work. So it's a choice, isn't it? But once you do, I mean, I think that it's like a gift, isn't it? What comes from doing that. And when you're in it, it can feel quite difficult, but it's this process, this journey, and you get this amazing gift at the end. And it's just an incredible thing. And also just going back to when you talked about the weight loss, I think was a really interesting point because a lot of people don't realize that weight loss and weight gain and fluctuations in metabolism is so connected to hormones. And so many women, when they start to heal their hormones, because weight gain is often linked to excess estrogen, often, not always, but when you start to find that harmony and create that space, like it's actually very easy to maintain a healthy weight. And so many people are on like, yo-yo dieting and counting calories, and it's so exhausting. And it's like, you just don't need to do that. You just need to tune in to what your biology says. And it's simple. You don't have to go through dieting. You can actually eat a lot more. You
Yeah.
just know yourself.
Yeah.
Know what's going on. And actually, when you yo-yo diet, actually that causes a lot more fat storage. So it's once you really get it and you start to understand, like being a woman is very easy, but this is all the information that we should have been taught from our ancestors, from our grandparents, right? This lineage that should have been passed on that has been forgotten, sadly. And we're all just sort of learning and guessing and going, sort of feels like you're stumbling through life as a woman. And yeah, we need this real basic knowledge taught to young women before they even get their period, before. So you know how to deal with it, you know how to handle it, you know what to do if something arises. So you can go, oh, actually, something's off. I'm going to do X, Y, Z to bring it back in. And that's what we do, isn't it? So yeah, yeah. Thanks for sharing. So nice to see where you've got to. I'm so proud of you. Oh, it's so lovely. Um, okay. What else to move on to? Well, yeah, let's talk about what we did. Should we talk a little bit about what the main things that you did? Because that might be helpful for other people. I feel like, of course, the approach for everyone's going to be fairly different, but it's quite a similar structure. I have like the ARTAA Healing method that I go through with all my clients that I developed, but I feel like with you specifically, maybe talk a bit about what you did. And then, later the tools that you integrated, because I know you started doing more like energy healing as well, which is really interesting.
So a couple things. I love myself so much. Honestly, you've got to love the part of you that's like ready to heal because they're so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yeah.
But when we first started working together, and I talk about it to this day, even with my clients, I got given the Emma Bible.
Oh yeah, that was I love that you called it
The
that.
Emma Bible. You basically,
I really used to write a big Bible for
that
people.
was absolutely wild. Like, I'm so grateful I was one of the early clients back then, because it was like, oh.
Take me days. I'd be like, this person needs all these things. Now it's a little bit slimmer, but it's still a Bible. It's still, yeah. Sorry, go on.
Couple things that you did, and I can reflect it back, is one, you are an incredible educator. You educated me. You taught me about hormones and a hormone hierarchy. You taught me about the fact that insulin and estrogen and all these things are affected by food, and that affects this, and that affects PCOS, and that affects fertility. And I was like, oh my God, like I just like could not piece the puzzle together. And I started to learn things. And again, when your mind opens, your body can heal because it's not stuck in the belief system that you once had. And you really cracked my mind open to new information that was really logical. That was really, I was like, wow, that's just incredible. I felt very empowered. And from that, you gave me, of course, herbs, which I'd never heard of before. Like, I was like, what is this stuff? And you had like this amazing description of each thing. And I'm thinking, like, I don't even know where to begin. And then you gave me a herbal pharmacy to order my herbs from, even better, because then I didn't have to do all the hard stuff. I was like, oh, there's a whole recipe. So I got my herbs. And I religiously drank them, sometimes holding my nose, but that was okay. I had to adapt myself to my herbs. It then became a taste I loved. It just took a little time. And you gave me the correct foods to eat for my body, the correct foods for what I was looking for. You really broke down the actual practical steps I could take to start to balance my hormones. On top of it, you gave me the most incredible resources, different books to read, things to feed back on, and then you checked in on me and you gave me a process of how to come off the pill. Because again, like back to where I was, and I'm sure if girls are watching this, coming off the pill is just fucking scary. It's like, when do I do it? How do I do it? What's going to happen? What should I do there? What if this doesn't happen? Blah, blah, blah. And you really like guided me on like, this is the right time to stop. This is how you want to introduce it. These are the foods you want to have. This is the seeds you should take. Like, there was so much holistic information and support. And then on top of that, I started to implement and learn really also again through just connecting to another woman who had healed. It opened my mind and my heart and my body to possibilities. So I went a lot into energy healing. I studied epigenetics and energy psychology. And I often think that was an added booster to how fast I healed. Um,
Oh, definitely.
and then, of course, sex energy and remembering what fertility is and how when you are fertile, it's through orgasm, it's through it's conceiving, it's all of this stuff. And I had like no libido before and no sex drive. I felt nothing. And then coming off the pill and starting to heal and my hormones balancing, I was like, oh wow, so sex energy became a big thing. And obviously that's not what I teach and do. It's like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But it all started there. So yeah, I can in summary say the level of education, the practical support, the herbs, and then just the infrastructure you have that walks women through a step by step to actually get to where you want to be, which ultimately is a fertile, healthy, flourishing woman. You gave that and then held me in that space. And I definitely know I'm a jumpy kind of person. I get freaked out and something hasn't happened. I'm like, am I dying? And you were like very calm and you were just checking on me. And I was like, okay. And this isn't fine. um,
So it must be fine.
yeah. But it worked and it was fast, really fast, the healing then.
Yeah. I think yeah, I love the libido talk because it's such a key point of healing. And a lot of people don't really put the two and two together, health and libido. And also the partner thing is so fascinating because I remember when I was on the pill, I had a type. And then when I came off the pill, it was literally a completely different type. I went for blonde men, and they had to be blonde, it's very specific, but they always had like a very sort of specific face, like when you just have a very specific type. And then it's completely the opposite now, and I'm a little bit more fluid with my type. But it's just like to see that transformation, and I hear it so many times from people who come off the pill and their attraction changes, and just the libido energy rising with healing is, oh, it's just so juicy, isn't it, really? That's the only way to describe it.
It's insane.
It's not just about sex, it's like, the essence of life. And I had a couple of calls actually recently, and women still get so embarrassed about talking about sex drive, so embarrassed, they hate it. And I think there's just so much like, programming around it, and men, it's more for men, and the deservingness. I find that conversation fascinating, really. But yeah, I always give all my clients aphrodisiac herbs, and always like as a baseline. Because, why not? And yeah, I heard this thing once. I can't remember where I heard it from. Someone said it, and it was like, if you're not completely wild, like in the moon and just wanting to grind on everything around ovulation, there is something wrong with you. And I was like, when something sticks in your mind forever. And I was like, yes, it's so true. And just getting that message out there that it's actually normal and it's amazing for you to be in that flow and to feel really good in your body and feel really sexy in your body and feel really healthy. And, with fertility, it's not just about having kids, like that's a choice. But fertility is so much more. It's just like creativity and health, vitality, immunity. It's just like, I don't even know how to describe it sometimes. I guess in Ayurveda they call it Shakti. Like,
Yeah,
that summarizes it so well. But it's quite not really a term that most people in the West know, but it's, yeah, powerful stuff.
so good. Your juice.
Okay, so was there anything that almost prevented you from working together and signing up for the program?
It's actually a very good question, that as well, because obviously at this point, and I hope if you girls are watching this, like you're gonna know where you're at and where I was as well. It was dire. And obviously now I'm on hindsight, the good consequences. But there was a juncture point, of course, when I was at my worst state health-wise. I was also at my worst state in many areas of my life. And again, your body will mirror your life. And this is something I teach a lot because I learned it. So not only was my health an absolute mess, I also was financially really struggling, and I was in a very sticky position. And back then, to invest into my health and to get support, it felt almost like a stupid decision because I didn't have a lot of money accessible. And I had money, but it's like financial priorities, right? Like there's definitely a point where you're like, what do I prioritize? And I was very freaked out, like to invest into myself and into someone, a professional, especially because I didn't know the results. Like, it's all good and well, someone being amazing on Instagram and showing you all the things, but then you look at yourself and you're like, I've been pretty fucked up for like a decade. So, like, and this is a substantial amount of investment. And it was like, huh. So yeah, that was definitely my hesitation point. So grateful I didn't hesitate, but I can empathize as well if there are girls who are watching this, that if you're at that point in your journey where like it's really rough and you're probably having it in multiple areas, finances is a thing where we are not conditioned to see the value of investment in ourselves, in our health. We're not conditioned. We're conditioned to see the value of investment for money, for other people, for this, for that, but not for our own health and what it actually does for us. And I had to really heal and break that conditioning. And it was a big step for me, especially back then. So, yeah, that was the one point that stopped me and paused me before I went in.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's around deservingness, I think. I had a very similar experience. I spent years just reading books and trying things. I did like all the different diets. And it wasn't until I actually booked in with someone that I saw a real shift and I could actually relax and lean into it and be like, oh, okay, I don't have to know how to do everything. Someone else can help, And then actually, spending a lot more money and going and do I did more mentoring with someone. And it is scary because if you want to be able to like guarantee a result, but the guarantee is you, isn't it? It's like, how much work are you going to put in?
Yeah.
And that's the key bit.
Yeah. I was speaking about it the other day actually with my partner in business terms. Obviously now I have a business and all the things, but we talk about like return on investment, right? Like your ROI. And what I can definitely say for myself is I didn't really understand what the ROI would be when I started working with you. It was an investment, but I was like, what will the return be? Like, what is it? And
Yeah.
the crazy, beautiful thing is that when working with you and what you do and the structure that you have, there is a very real ROI. And the ROI is beyond anything I could even have comprehended back then, because it's not only that you get physical healing and your body changes, it's that you get a mental connection to your body and you understand how to heal. You understand the art of healing your body and the art of being a woman in your hormones. And from that place, it's not just like, oh, my hormones regulated, my body healed, my this. It's then my life expanded. I found myself. I understood my things. I healed my relationships. I healed my sexual connections. I healed my capacity to be in my body, to understand my weight, it was a massive shift. And so, yeah, I can definitely say to anyone who's feeling the hesitation point, and I totally get it and I empathize because I have, and you were actually my first big investment into my healing journey back in the day. Um, it's the greatest decision you can possibly make, because you're ultimately going to invest into yourself through a woman who has the wisdom and the structure to help you come back into your fullness. And that portal is going to literally rise you, right? It's going to let you rise and heal in multiple areas of your life. So well worth it.
Yeah. Well said. Thank you. Yeah, really scary to make that initial thing, isn't it? But I feel like as well that I don't need to say anything else more about it. It's just sometimes you can't really understand it till you're in it. I think that's the key point, isn't it? Yeah. So what was the main trigger for you to actually do it? It was, I'm ready to just see change. You were just like, I'm sick of feeling like this.
Yeah, like it definitely for me, it was the mindset shift. Like, and I really pray that every woman gets that point. I hope your pain gets so fucking unbearable. And I know that's terrible to say,
Yeah,
but
but to make you do something about it.
to
Yeah.
change your freaking life. Like, and my big shift that happened inside me was the fact that I sat back and I realized that the condition that I had from society, from my family, from partners, around money, around my body, around sexual energy, around fertility, all of that conditioning that I was saying, no, I can't afford this. No, I can't do this. That was the same conditioning that had got me into this state. And
Yeah.
that state was killing me. It was ruining my body, my health, my self love, my trust, my sex energy, my healing, my capacity to have a child, my capacity for a greater future. And so, if I chose to stay in that conditioning, I was choosing to say that is the way I actually want to be in my life. And we as women have got to wake up and realize it's going to be a pain point and we're going to have to make a painful decision. But both paths are going to have pain. It's going to be painful as fuck to stay the way I was. It is just is. It's going to be painful as fuck to change my mental conditioning and to invest in a place that feels scary. But one is going to lead to a outcome that is unknown but promised and true. And the other is going to lead to an absolute known outcome that is not what I want to be in my life. And when I sat with myself there, and I can still see myself sitting on a little bench on Hampstead Heath, processing everything, counting my pennies, and then thinking, Emma, it's just not even, it's like a no-brainer, because money comes and goes, it shifts, but your life, the trajectory you're going to go on if you don't heal versus if you do, different planes, different planes. And once that clicked in my head, it was like, okay, whatever plan needs to be made, let's make a plan, and let's do it. And you do have that capacity, right? Like we do, of course we do. You will find a way if you know it's the right way. And I encourage all you women to see what the right way is for your life, and then to find the way to make it work for you really well and truly.
Yeah, someone once said to me, it's like choose your hard. And that really feels like kind of summarizes exactly what you just said. Because healing is hard, being sick is hard. You know, what are you going to choose and what's the outcome from that? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Anything else you want to add? I feel like you've summarized everything so well and just said amazing, beautiful things. But if there's anything else that you wanted to add.
I definitely, like, just as a final reflection, and I can say it now, obviously I've been in the healing industry, and you were one of my big initiation points, but it's been over 5 years for me now, being really immersed in the natural health healing world. And I've lived all over the world. I've lived in Bali, Indonesia, Dubai, Germany, London. I've met a lot of women now and done my work, met a lot of healers. And I can genuinely say I've never met a more transformative healer than you in the space. You are the expert in what you do. And for women who are looking for also the mental safety to know you're in the hands of someone who's got an expertise, Emma is it. She's the person I would always go back to. And I can say that after meeting a lot of people in a lot of places, being in this niche. And so, again, to the girls who do watch this, if you're wanting your result and you're wanting to be fertile and healthy and healed and held and supported and really put in a space with an expert, there is no better. Like, I can genuinely say that after searching long, hard, and wide, because I was doing it for me first. So do it. Take a leap of faith. It is a leap and it is going to require faith, but you're in the hands of an angel, you know? So trust that.
Thanks. Gonna get emotional. Thank you. Wow, it's so hard for me to receive stuff like this, you know, because I don't really see myself as an expert. I just love helping people, and it's just, you know, it's just amazing to work with people and they get better, and yeah, it's a lovely to have the feedback. And I think yeah, I mean, when I first started doing this work, I was just writing prescriptions and people would get better, but they weren't learning everything that you learn. They weren't learning how to live. And that's when I changed what I did. Because I was like, yeah, I can just give you herbs, but your symptoms are going to come back. And this is a lifestyle. It's something that you embody the whole practice. And, you know, that scares some people, but it's a decision. What do you want to do? How do you want to have the most excellent life, you know, because this really does up level your life, doesn't it? It's yeah, something beyond comprehension when you're going through it and then you come out the other side. It's like I just imagine like the caterpillar, and I read that story to my son most nights because he just loves it, you know, the hungry caterpillar. But it just I always envision this going through the healing journey of caterpillar and just like how he's so hungry and engorging and doing all this, and then suddenly he takes this time to cocoon and rest and comes out this exponential like the fly full of like every color and just like so radiant. I mean, it's just a beautiful symbolism, but yeah, that's how I see it. Yeah, so thank you, Emma, for sharing. It's been so lovely chatting with you.
Oh, thank you, baby. I love you. And I wish you all the best, and every girl who comes into their space, just the best journey. It's the best.
Also just so good to love your work like you do, like to be in this life and to love what you do. You know, life is so short, and what an amazing thing to do, right? To help others, and yeah.
The best. The best. Okay, my schnooks. I love you.
Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a like. Subscribe to our channel to get notifications for future videos. We have podcast episodes coming, masterclasses, and more client testimonials to expand your consciousness so that you believe you can heal too. Follow us over on Instagram for free tips and healing advice, ARTÀ Healing Method, and join our free community group. We have an amazing group full of incredible women sharing and supporting each other, and there are other practitioners in there too. It's completely free, and it's growing and growing and growing, and we would love to have you with us. If you're ready to start your healing journey now, head over to artahealing.com and secure your space in our transformative program, which teaches you step by step how to heal. For our podcast listeners only, we're offering 20% off the entire program, which is a huge saving. Use code WOMAN, all caps, WOMAN, for 20% off and start healing now. Within the program, we have our 4-step healing formula, which I call the ARTÀ Healing Method, that literally teaches you how to heal from start to finish. Within a community and the guidance of a practitioner, you have a lot of one-to-one support in there, tailored advice, and I will write you a personalised herbal medicine prescription that's unique to you and your needs. You can order this and have it posted straight to your door. We have loads of workshops in there which you can watch at your own pace. And we have our twice-monthly medicine circles to gather with the other women in the program. This gives you the opportunity to connect with other women also on their healing journey, to feel held and supported, to ask questions. We go through the curriculum. Sometimes we have themes, plant ceremonies, or breath work. It's a space that holds you accountable and motivates you. So I'm going to send you lots of love and healing now, and I will see you in the next episode. Lots of love. Bye.